edition of NFL YouTube. Here we go. Stephen A. Smith asks, which city has the best looking women? I already know what he's going to say. He's going to say
now, I'm not just
Miami.
talking about the city of Miami. I'm talking about the outskirts. You know it's bad in Miami when one of the finest women you ever saw in your life is at a gas station pumping gas in Miami. That's when you know this place is different. Like different.
Okay. Anyway, I'm not into that. I'm not into the dun 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 dun. It's so hot, it's so humid, and it's like dun 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 dun. I hate that. I'm not into it. So no, it's not Miami. Other people will say, oh, it's the small towns in Middle America. What, like LeAnn Rimes, like the woman who sings Carrie Underwood? Come on, relax. It's not Middle America. It's not small towns. You could argue it's South Korea, which I certainly empathize with, but they're all using special effects, if you know what I'm saying. You will see a lot of eye patches. Why are they all wearing eye patches? Google it. A lot of eye patches going on around there. A lot of big dark sunglasses. A lot of bandages. So I can't award South Korea. I'm sorry, South Korea. No, the correct answer is LA. The correct answer is LA because it draws the best talent from around the country and the world. I was in a Walmart. I was in a Walmart in a nice part of LA. It was crazy, dude. It was like unbelievable. You would have thought it was freaking a modeling agency, dude. It was ridiculous. I was like, are you kidding me right now? Like, what is going on here? So the correct answer is LA. Larry Kruger and Damon Bruce were debating whether or not to pay Brock Purdy, and Larry said, I'm not sure Brock Purdy is good enough to win the Super Bowl. And then he said he wasn't sure if Jalen Hurts was good enough to win the Super Bowl. Mind you, Brock Purdy had a lead in overtime. In any other Super Bowl, he already is a Super Bowl champion. What are you talking about? Jalen Hurts he lost 38-35. He had a huge lead and he lost 38-35. Oh, I'm not sure if he's good enough. He's good enough to score 35 points in the Super Bowl, and you're not sure if he can win the Super Bowl. That's just not logical thinking. The truth is, Steve McNair is good enough to win the Super Bowl. Okay, because he lost on the 1 yard line. So Steve McNair is good enough to win the Super Bowl. By this logic, John Elway wasn't good enough to win the Super Bowl when he lost. He got blown out by Joe Montana. He's not good enough to win the Super Bowl. Come on, this is like not even logical like thinking anymore. This is like crazy. I don't know what's wrong with people. I don't get it. I'm honestly like I've had it with other people's opinions. Like I've had it. Honestly, Caesar had the right idea.
Isaac Newton's overrated. So Isaac Newton's a genius for discovering gravity. I could have gotten gravity.
No.
But I'm not out here like, wow, Kevin Wilde's genius.
Hold on.
You just walked out.
Buddy.
I could have invented several things.
No.
That's actually true. Kevin Wildes is playing the buffoon here. He's playing the clown. But he is actually expressing a sentiment shared by many scientists. Many scientists lament that discoveries today are harder than the discoveries of the past. The discoveries in the past were really more of a like an Easter egg hunt. Like somebody was gonna find it. It was more of a race. Up until like the 1990s, they were racing to be the first because they were all so close. Like for example, Albert Einstein. With respect to general relativity, there were dudes, Hilbert, like Hilbert was right on his heels. If Albert Einstein had never existed, relativity, somebody was going to come up with relativity within 10 to 15 years, just because he had a little bit more, Einstein's theory was a little bit more comprehensive, but somebody was going to come up with that within 15 years, all right? Isaac Newton was actually a little bit more ahead of his contemporaries or his peers than Albert Einstein. So if Isaac Newton hadn't existed, maybe it would have taken like 35 years. But somebody was going to come up with these discoveries. Somebody was going to figure it out. So Kevin Wildes is unknowingly expressing a legitimate sentiment.
You gotta be kidding me.
What could you invent now?
Right now, nothing. Because I don't know anything about AI or microchips.
No, just...
Today, we're kind of at a point where you can't prove any of this. Like, the many worlds interpretation. Like, how are you going to ever prove that? Like, even if the math makes sense, you can't You can't test it. Like, how are you going to test if there's other universes, other realities? You can't do it. Is the universe flat? If the universe is flat, then the universe is infinite. I don't know. Good luck testing that. Like, you can go look at the cosmic background radiation and say, well, it looks pretty flat. You could go compare. You can draw triangles in space, right? You can draw triangles between quasars or whatever you want, but you can't really prove it. You can't really prove it anymore. So, Steve Young says he would be wary of paying Brock a big number because you have to build a team around him, blah, 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 blah. Okay, I don't care how much Brock Purdy gets paid, okay? I don't actually care about that. What I am reacting to is the logic of these arguments, which I feel are don't make any sense, okay? The Atlanta Falcons just paid $100 trillion to Kirk Cousins. And they're like, forget it, you suck. We're just going to go with the rookie. And it's fine. They still have a talented roster. The 49ers had Jimmy G. By the way, don't even start with DeForest Buckner. They did it at the time. They didn't want that much money taken by that position group. It had nothing to do with Jimmy G's contract, why they didn't keep DeForest Buckner. They thought they were being super smart at that time. They have since gone the other direction. But okay, anyway. So your own 49ers have done it, the Falcons have done it, the Broncos have done it, the Eagles have done it. Like, I don't even know where people, you know what it is? It's groupthink. It's like, it again has an evolutionary basis. That made sense in our evolutionary history for people to sort of like, there is a sort of wisdom in crowds. But in this case, you get these stupid ass opinions that are just repeated ad nauseum.